You said yes again." The second they asked, I already knew I didn't want to do it. Something inside me just tightened up. There was this quiet voice telling me, "Not this time." But then I heard myself say, "Sure, no problem." And I even smiled. And I didn't mean any of it. It all happened so quickly, I barely catch it happening. Barely. Most people think they understand this. They say it's about being too nice, too passive, too easy to walk over. The world already has a label for people who can't say no. They're weak. They're people pleasers. They don't have a backbone. That's the simple version. But psychology sees something a lot deeper and a lot more human. If I've ever said yes when every part of me was saying no, if I've ever hung up the phone and felt that sinking dread right away, or stayed somewhere long after it stopped feeling right, just because leaving felt impossible, then this is for me. Because what's going on inside me isn't weakness. It's a survival response, and it has a name. Today, I'm breaking down the psychology behind why some of us can't say no. And by the end of this, I'll understand myself in a way most people never do. Society calls it being a pushover, a yes man, spineless. It treats this behavior like a moral failure, like saying no is just about having enough willpower. Like I could wake up one day, decide to change, and everything would fix itself. But psychology sees something very different under the surface. This isn't a flaw in who I am. In many cases, it's a smart, even if painful way I adapted to a past where saying no didn't feel safe at all. The first thing happening here is what psychologists call the fawn response. Most people know fight, flight, and freeze. But there's a fourth one, fawn. It shows up when someone learns early on that the safest way to deal with danger is by keeping others happy, by going along, by being agreeable enough that the threat, whether that's anger, rejection, or losing love, just goes away. When I can't say no, I'm not being passive. I'm using the only strategy I learned that worked. My nervous system picked up on one rule. If I keep you happy, I stay safe. This ties directly into attachment theory, first introduced by John Bowlby. The relationships I had early on taught me what closeness would feel like. If love felt conditional, if approval came with strings, if disapproval showed up as silence or punishment, then I learned to manage other people's emotions just to survive. That pattern doesn't just disappear when I grow up. It follows me into friendships, into work, into every moment someone asks something from me, and the word no just sits behind my teeth, stuck. But that's only part of it. There's another layer that goes deeper. It's about identity. For a lot of people like me, saying no doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It feels like I'm losing myself. It's not just I'm saying no to this. It feels like I'm becoming someone people won't love. The boundary and who I am get tangled together. Saying no doesn't feel like an action. It feels like something being taken away. And that fear shows up in my body. I can feel it physically. A tight chest, a rush of heat, that sudden urge to pull back, soften what I said, and reassure the other person. That's anxiety doing its job, trying to protect me from danger. The problem is, the danger isn't really there anymore. Or, more accurately, it was real once, and my body just never got the message that things have changed. What makes this hard to see from the outside is that people who struggle to say no often look like they have everything under control. I'm the one holding things together, the reliable one, the person who always shows up. I carry a lot without making it obvious. I keep things moving. I keep people comfortable. I make sure nothing falls apart. And because of that, people depend on me. They expect it, which makes it even harder to stop. Most of the time, no one questions it. It just becomes who I am to them. The one who handles it, the one who says yes. And the longer that pattern runs, the harder it feels to break without feeling like I'm letting everyone down at once. Here's the part almost no one talks about. The same sensitivity that makes it so hard for me to disappoint someone is the same thing that makes me a great listener, a deeply loyal friend, and someone who can read the emotional tone of a room almost instantly. I pick up on shifts most people miss. I notice the pause in someone's voice, the change in their mood, the things they don't say out loud. The thing that drains me is also the source of my strongest qualities. The same awareness that helps me connect is the same awareness that keeps me on edge. This level of emotional awareness isn't common. It's not small either, and it deserves to be recognized for what it is. But the world we live in doesn't really make space for it. It rewards a different kind of strength. We're surrounded by messages that praise people who set hard boundaries, walk away without explanation, and protect their energy with precision. And yes, there's truth in that. There's value in knowing when to step back. But there's also something distant about it, something that doesn't fully account for people like me. When I can't say no, I find myself comparing who I am to that ideal. I watch how easily other people seem to draw the line, and I wonder why something that looks so simple from the outside feels almost impossible for me. Sometimes it even feels harsh, like I'd be doing something wrong just by saying no. That gap isn't because something is broken in me. It's a mismatch between how I'm wired and what the culture rewards. And when those two things don't line up, it creates pressure that builds quietly over time. Think about this. It's late. Everyone else has logged off. The messages have stopped coming in. The world has slowed down. But I'm still there. Still replying. Still checking things. Still finishing tasks I said yes to weeks ago when I felt more optimistic, more available, more willing. Still telling myself that next time will be different, that next time I'll handle it better. There's a specific kind of exhaustion that lives here. It's not just physical tiredness. It's not just needing sleep. It's something quieter and heavier. It feels like a slow erosion of self. Like I'm giving small pieces of myself away over and over without ever fully noticing it in the moment. And if I'm honest, not being able to say no isn't always just about other people. Sometimes it's about avoiding myself. Because as long as I'm busy taking care of everyone else, I don't have to sit still. I don't have to face what I'm feeling. I don't have to ask the harder questions about what I actually want or what I've been ignoring. It becomes a kind of escape, a structured, socially acceptable way to stay in motion, a way to never slow down long enough to feel what's underneath. And that's something worth looking at carefully. Not with judgment, not with shame, but with honesty. So the real question becomes, when I say yes, who am I really saying it for? Is it for them? Or is it for the version of me that still believes love has to be earned through usefulness, through being needed, through never being the one who disappoints? I'm not broken. I'm not too much. And I'm not enough. I'm someone whose nervous system learned to prioritize connection and safety in the only way it knew how. That's not a flaw. That's a human story. I'm the kind of person who remembers something you mentioned weeks ago, even if you forgot you said it. I notice when something feels off before you ever say a word. I'll rearrange my own plans, shift my time, and adjust my life just to make sure you're okay. And at the same time, I need someone who can show up for me like that too. Psychologists sometimes refer to this pattern as sociotropy, a strong orientation toward relationships and other people's approval as the main source of self-worth. It's not weakness. It's a particular way of being wired for connection, with the volume turned all the way up. So let me ask you, is this you? Is there one relationship, one situation, one moment you keep going back to where the word no just wouldn't come out, no matter how much you felt it? I genuinely want to hear that. And if you find yourself coming back to videos like this, trying to understand the quieter, more complicated parts of human behavior, consider subscribing. There's more to explore here than most people realize. And in the next video, we're going to break down something that might surprise you. The psychology of people who look confident on the surface, but are running from something very different underneath.